afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are really glad you're here. Our webinar today is a joint webinar hosted by Safran Software Solutions and Vesta Partners, and the title is The New Standard in STO Execution. A couple of housekeeping items before we get right into the thick of the presentation here. We have had someone note to us that the North American dial-in information for dialing in on the phone was not displayed, and so we are putting that in the chat feed here very shortly. So if you are still trying to get in on the audio and you're not dialing in through your computer, we'll have North American phone numbers available for you just a second. We do have everybody muted today, and the reason for that is that we are trying to keep this recording clean, and it will be available to everybody who registered for the webinar in a couple of days once we get the recording all edited and posted on the Safran website. Lastly, we definitely want you to be engaged and involved today, and we welcome any and all questions that you may have for our esteemed panel, and you can do that via the question panel here in GoToWebinar. So please submit your questions at any time during the presentation, and we'll have a Q&A session towards the end of the hour. So before we get started, let me introduce our panel today. We do have Richard Wood, who's the VP of International Sales from Safran. We have Michael Kyle, Manager of Global Business Development from Vesta Partners, and Jorgen Hansen, Senior Consultant from Safran. And to kick us off and get today, Richard's going to do an introduction and go over today's agenda. Richard?
Thanks very much, Doug. Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Wood. I'm the VP for the International Business Development at Safran. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's webinar on Safran Project and our approach to shutdown and turnaround with our partner, Vesta Partners. It's great, actually, to see so many attend from all corners of the world. We've got people from Australia, Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and North and South America, of course. So I'd like to introduce our agenda for today. Once the introductions are complete, I will ask Michael to explain a little bit more about Vesta, the company, and to explain in particular how they see the world of shutdown and turnaround today. What are the challenges facing companies in executing flawless shutdown turnaround projects? And what benefits are still to be realized despite all the focus over the years on more and more effective shutdown turnaround processes? Because there are still some benefits to be taken. I can then explain how Safran has developed a solution and an approach to shutdown turnaround to complement the work of Vesta, and we can even see a demonstration of some of this functionality. But first, why are Safran and Vesta working together to address these issues for our customers? Well, we both have very complementary market offers. Safran is a world-leading software vendor, focusing particularly on asset-intensive sectors and complex processes like shutdown and turnaround. Safran works very closely with SAP to design and deliver software that complements SAP itself, and Vesta have a long history of supplying services to the same sectors and in many cases the same customers. This combination of software and service delivery makes the partnership perfect for the delivery of complex solutions such as shutdown turnarounds, which require a close mix of software and both technical and business process delivery services. You'll also hear today about the SAP Integrator, which is a product designed and built for Safran by Vesta and a perfect example of this partnership in action. So for those of you who do not know Safran, we have provided project management software solutions for over 20 years. We've got thousands of users leveraging our tools on some of the largest and most complex projects in the world in verticals such as oil and gas, engineering, construction, utilities of all kinds, and aerospace and defense. Projects include some of the largest turnarounds ever attempted, for example, for ConocoPhillips in the North Sea, as well as smaller projects that companies and people are responsible for delivering every day. A key differentiator of Safran is our focus on complex projects in asset-intensive industries, and we have two main product lines. Safran Project, a project control suite for planning, scheduling, and executing large, complex projects, and Safran Risk, a complementary tool for project risk analysis professionals. But today we're going to focus on our new release of Safran Project. We call it SP7, and how some of its new features make it a perfect partner for those planning and executing complex projects. So Now that the introductions are complete, I'd like to hand over to Michael, who'll look in a bit more detail at Vesta's experience with shutdown turnaround in asset-intensive sectors.
As you heard, my name is Michael Kuil and I'm the Manager of Global Business Development at Vesta Partners, supporting predominantly the EMEA region. Vesta's differentiation is a real-world experience on the factory floor that shaped our experience in maintenance. So looking at our offerings from the left to the right, in the EMM solutions, we focus on SAP Enterprise Asset Management, the SAP ecosystem, and improving the asset management processes. In the technical services, it shows the services for supporting EAM, and these include SAP partners like Safran for the integration of the planning and scheduling. The software products, these are solutions Vesta developed as niche solutions to support processes in the overall asset lifecycle. And the industry solutions shows how we aligned our solutions and strategy with the industry standard like ISO 55000 and the enablement of SAP to support the whole asset lifecycle in various industries, for example, oil, gas, chemicals, and utilities. And lastly, we bring time-tested methodologies and accelerators that deliver compelling return on investment into our project engagements. So now we would like to talk a little bit more about the shutdown, turnaround, and outage processes and how the integration can drive the overall efficiency improvement. So moving forward, I would like to highlight a few challenges and opportunities that an integrated solution like SAP with Safran can enable. So what are the challenges and opportunities? Because you might well know, for many years companies are focusing on the safety and the efficiency of an STO and doing quite well, but there's still opportunities and benefits to be made. So looking at the slide, it's all decentralized project applications. So after selecting strategically the work, the next focus area is the ability to execute the project flawlessly. The decentralized and ad hoc approach to project management, planning, scheduling, and risk management is that's created during the execution phase, causes extensive rework, cost and schedule overruns, misinformed and late decision making. Simply put, too much time is spent collecting data across applications, corrective actions are an afterthoughts. Project continuously skyrockets, leaving organizations with low or no margin, and lack of the best practice sharing is created an inability to scale. So whether you are an operator or an engineer or a construction firm, this is not the model you like to embrace. So it's all about managing the complexity, scope, and associated risk, as an STO involves both planned activities and unplanned work, resulting from inspection of a part of a machine or asset, which is not accessible or visible during normal operations. A limited forecast of cost, schedule, and resources. Timely decision making is hampered, so scope creep is a real challenge. Limited corporate visibility into project health, so combining all ongoing activities in all various systems is a real-life challenge. Focus on data gathering, require great project continuously, so a different organization doing an STO. Best practices are not leveraged. No procurement integration can cause delays if materials are not on site. So looking at the slide, the big value opportunity is the unified and integrated solution that drives the overall value benefit to be more efficient and allow you to realize those last few benefits that we already talked about. So flawless execution is about enabling the right people and processes which fit for purpose, and extensible project solutions which also work with contractor solutions like Microsoft Project and Primavera P6. The fully integrated SAP Safran Project Control Suite allows organizations to align project and corporate stakeholders with the right information to make timely critical business decisions which keep project on schedule and within budget. So the unified approach accelerates deployment and allows project team to focus on the corrective actions, best practice, and scaling the organizations. So benefits are a single version of the truth reports, project delivered on time and within budget, risk adjustment and elevated project confidence, leverage project and corporate best practices, focused on corrective actions, extendable to third-party project applications, enable participation across the network, integrated procurement, and retention and reuse of best practices across the enterprise. So the overall value is to provide organizations with a comprehensive solution to manage their STO planning and execution activities, and measurable improvement in efficiency across the end-to-end process of the STO with a common platform to sustain efficiency, integrated, reducing the complexity and harmonize the data set, seamless integration between demand and planning scheduling solution for a fast data transfer between multiple systems to support quick reporting, mitigating risk and project delays, and enable reuse of best practices by means of reusable templates. So looking at the high-level process scenario, the turnaround involves like four major steps. Definition and plan. It's all about the project creation and definition, planning and setup, selecting the strategically selected work and leveraging on templates. Project templates should reflect previous STOs, which is supported in SAP, like resources, materials, documents. Scope based on integrated objectives to drive maintenance opportunities, for example, backlog, improvement works. Step 2 is the pre-turnaround. Sets the detailed planning and budgeting of procurement, managing the overall planning process by leveling resources, risk and budget, like contractors, task list, procurement lifecycle for the long lead items, budget versus scope, so prioritization is key next to risk mitigation. Execute turnaround, release work, execute and complete the work orders and activities, reporting on all overall process of the activity and financially. Progress is being booked, like time, material and logistics, in a cohesive way, and the Safran risk profile based on the timely and accurate information from SAP with multi-dimensions like risk, progress and financial information. Post-turnaround, closing the activities and ensuring all costs are allocated correctly, analysis can be done, and update templates, for instance, maintained documents are being reflected back into the system. Back to Richard.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Now I'd like to build on Vesta's approach to shutdown turnaround and explain how is supporting these complex processes and how a new release of SP7 can add even more towards their flawless execution. Safran Project is used by our customers to deliver a wide range of complex projects, in particular capital, maintenance and turnaround projects, but also increasingly we find the ability to easily import data from a variety of sources makes Safran the tool of choice for integrated asset planning. A number of our customers during a complex shutdown use Safran Project to both manage the shutdown but also consolidate progress data daily from contractors using MSP, Excel, P6, and so produce a master schedule and activity plan from which hundreds of reports can be produced every night for all stakeholders to review the next day. A great example of this is the 2013 shutdown at the Ekofisk field by ConocoPhillips in the North Sea. This at the time was the largest shutdown turnaround ever attempted there and ran to both time and budget, with 200 reports being produced by Safran overnight, which were used every day by all stakeholders of all roles. Safran was used to both manage the individual asset plans and also to build a master plan from all contractor data. So let me perhaps introduce Safran Project to you by exploring some of the highlights of the application and the benefits delivered to these customers. Perhaps the most significant difference between Safran Project and other tools for complex project management is the fact that Safran have developed all functionality in a single product. We've not bought and integrated any third-party applications, but developed everything ourselves inside a single user interface, including earned value, variation order control, and most importantly, full schedule risk analysis, including Monte Carlo analysis. All is focused on a single view of the project schedule. What this gives us is excellent power and performance, exactly what is needed to plan and execute complex shutdown turnaround projects. Because everything is working and is focused directly within a single product onto a single schedule, all functions work together. Changes in the schedule have an immediate impact on earned value, can be immediately risk analyzed, and because Safran Project includes its own report generator, scenarios and the impact of change can be analyzed and reported on in parallel and immediately. This allows very open and immediate decision making, exactly what is needed for every day during a shutdown. Working in partnership with SAP and other third parties like Vesta has also given Safran an ability to capture best practice process across the entire supply chain, working, for example, with SAP to manage all elements of procurement and materials provisioning from the schedule itself. Finally, the single product approach has allowed us to offer a very fast time to benefit for customers. With a single UI to train new users, user adoption is accelerated and the impact on the existing footprint minimized. SP7 can be installed and users trained in days once the processes are harmonized. Our latest release, SP7, introduces some new functionality and increases our value to the world of shutdown planning even further. This slide shows some of this new functionality alongside those functions that Safran has always offered STO users. Firstly, for those of you who have used SP5, you will find a new and improved user interface in SP7. For shutdown turnaround execution, we offer an ability to optimize the schedule against limited resources, including obvious examples like POB for offshore working. This ability to quickly optimize a schedule, often with many tens of thousands of activities, against any limited resource type, is a capability that is important in many sectors and is a function particularly useful as a complement to project planning in SAP PS. The resulting schedule can be presented as a series of options or scenarios for decision making, each quickly risk analyzed if needed using the highly performant analysis engine within SP7, perhaps even against time series and weather calendars, before the final schedule is passed back to SAP PS. Integrated asset planning is also an important feature of Safran Project, and I've already talked a little bit about Safran's ability to consolidate contractor data to form a master schedule that immediately allows impact of change to be recognized and reported on. So how does this tool, SP7, address the challenges identified by Michael earlier, and how is it optimized to deliver the potential benefits he identified? Here I have shown again some of the benefits that Vesta believe are still available to many STO users despite the many years devoted to improving the efficiency of this process. Because we believe in a fully integrated schedule, including risk in the one UI, we can ensure full confidence in the planning and forecasting process. Embedded risk gives greater confidence to all stakeholders in the forecasting and the planning process, particularly for exec-level stakeholders. Focusing on one core schedule allows all reports to reflect that single version of the truth that eludes many less focused software and reporting solutions, making consistent data available to all and enabling true participation across the community. And finally, through partnership with both Vesta and SAP, the entire supply chain can be optimized around the project schedule, so best practice consistently captured and enjoyed. So now it's time for me to introduce Jürgen Hansen, a senior consultant with Safran, to show you some of the product SP7 in action. This is the slide you saw earlier from Michael. You can see here that Jürgen will be demonstrating the use of SP7 in some carefully selected transactions shown in red along the bottom, purely because we don't have time to show the whole process today. You'll see the export of projects from SAP and P6 to Safran to allow the optimization of the project, and the export back to SAP of the final optimized schedule. This will include resource optimization, risk analysis, and exploration of possible scenarios and options using the excellent performance of Safran and demonstrating the performance and power that comes from focusing everything into one single tool and schedule base. Over to you, Jürgen.
Thank you, Richard. First, we need to create activities for the shutdown we are planning. So I would like to start with showing you some operations that we have created in the SAP PM module. Here you see all the operations that have been assigned to a specific SAP work order. We have put some description, work, and durations on all the operations, and they are now ready to be transferred to Safran. But before we go into the transfer, I would like to show the initial screen of the integrator. This screen lists all the project links that has been set up in the integrator. Double-clicking on a link, it will bring up the link's details. So now we go into the main screen of the integrator. Here we can identify the PM data on the SAP side and Safran Project on the other side. The details on a link identifies the work orders that will be included in the data transfer to Safran. In this example, it's only one work order, 400-1975. The integrator then compares the SAP PM with Safran Project. It then identifies the project, so it knows where to write the data. This is the integrator after it has compared the SAP data with Safran Project. And in the lower part of the screen, it shows the operations that will be created in Safran. When you go up and choose Sync Projects command from the drop-down menu, the integrator will automatically create these tasks in Safran. So now the activities has been transferred to Safran, so let's open Safran and take a look. Here you see the activities in Safran Project. But before we dive into the new activities we have transferred, I would like to begin by giving you a quick introduction of Safran Project 7's interface. As you see, Safran Project 7 has a more modern look than previous versions. The software also has many new features and it's a faster application. But the software is the same. Bar chart editor, reports, and other basic functionality are the same or improved compared to previous versions. In the upper part of the screen, you see the ribbon. It's divided into multiple tabs, which are organized into particular tasks. As you see, each tab is divided into sections. For instance, the project tab is divided into schedule, risk, resource leveling, and so on. Above the ribbon, we find the quick access menu, which provides access to the commonly used commands like save, open, and preview. If we move down to the bar chart editor workspace, we have the table area, we have a Gantt area, and we have 5 information panes. The information panes allows you to view, enter, and update detailed activity information, link information, resources with a graphical view, and a histogram that you can create reports with, and a schedule risk analysis pane. The schedule risk analysis pane we will get back to later in the demonstration. So when you define your project, Safran Project generates a table of valid cutoff dates. With Safran Project, you are able to have reporting frequency more often than once per day. If the calendar unit is in hours, you can specify up to 6 reporting periods per day. In our shutdown, we choose to use 2 cutoffs per day, one at 12 o'clock in the morning and one at midnight. So let's go back to the activities in the bar chart and do some planning. So now we have imported one project from SAP, but we need more projects. So we have received a project from a client that are using Safran Project. I'm now going to show you how to import this project into the same schedule. We just locate the file, click on it, and we're going to do an update of the origin of our schedule. So now that we've seen that we have gotten 2 projects into the same schedule. But one of the unique features of Safran Project is the ability to import data from other planning tools. The import network options allows you to import schedule data from a variety of sources, including Microsoft Project and Primavera XCR files. So let's say you have received a schedule from a subcontractor that are using Primavera. You just go into the import, choose the file, and now we're going to do an append of our schedule. And now you can see we have gotten the project into our schedule. I'm now going to add 3 new activities into one of the projects I had imported to illustrate how easy it is to plan in Safran Project. I just press the Insert button. I copy data from an Excel file and paste it right into the table area. I have an auto-link function activated, so the activities will be linked into the rest of the schedule automatically. The last thing I'm going to do is link these activities to a variation order. Safran Project has an embedded change management module called the change register. Here you have the ability to track and trace changes to the baseline plan and the baseline scope of work over the life of the project. The change register holds a complete record of all the project's variation, and it allows project team to track the history of each item. Since the change management module is part of the core scheduling system, it is possible to illustrate and analyze the effect a variation order has on the total plan throughout different types of reports. If you go into one, you can see the details that include activities, resources, and their estimates. Here you can also easily change the status of the variation order up in the right corner. The next thing I'm going to do is do some resource leveling. One of our projects, we need to look at the resources. Our histogram shows a peak in the manning. We have too much hours planned on the 12th of June. We have set the available resource at 100 man-hours per day, which is illustrated with the black line in the histogram. We have also set a maximum hours delay for 48 hours. So now when I press the active button, you see the result in the histogram. You also see the result in the bar chart by symbols that illustrates the new leveled activities. We can use those as a guideline to manually plan the activities and level out our plan. Now we have small resource leveling on our schedule, but this can also be done on large projects and project groups with tens of thousands of activities. The next thing I'm going to do is a schedule risk on one of our projects. Safran Project is the only project management system today that offers a schedule risk analysis directly in the scheduling tool. It's a Monte Carlo-based simulation, and the outputs are new durations and end dates. The schedule risk pane is divided into two parts. The right side is the output area after the analysis, and the left side is both an input and output panel. The risk input and output data can also be included in columns in the table area, as you see here in the layout. So in our project, we have been told to run a risk analysis on this project. So we start with a quick risk, a feature that allows you to set optimistic and pessimistic duration as a percentage of the activity duration. After running the risk analysis, Safran offers different reports to evaluate the output of the analysis. You have the typical risk histogram, and you also have tornado chart. The risk histogram can show the spread of start dates, the spread of finish dates, durations, and float. After you have run a quick risk, you can change some of the parameters, like the pessimistic durations, on some of the activities. For instance, this activity, we set it to 60 hours, and then we run a total risk analysis. Now I put up symbols that shows me the P50 and P80 dates in the Gantt. Here you can do a manual update of these dates with the symbols as guideline, or you can transfer the dates automatically using a built-in function that transfers the P dates to the live dates. So next thing we're going to do in the planning process is to run a baseline. When that is done, we are ready to transfer the updated activities back to SAP. To get the data back to SAP, we're going to use the integrator again. But this time we're going to transfer from Safran to SAP PM module. And so we tell it to read the data and compare it. Now we see the project link screen after the integrator has compared the data from both systems. As you see, all activities are there, and they will be updated with new dates. And at the bottom, you see the 3 new activities that I created earlier. The next thing that happens is that we release the work order, and then we can proceed to put some actual time and progress on the operations. These expendables will then be transferred back to Safran. Now we are entered the execution phase and are ready to start the installation work. And as you see here, I've jumped a couple of days into the shutdown, and as you see, we have received progress and expended hours. So now I'm going to jump right into reporting. In a shutdown, a wide range of reports and charts must be available, so project management can make the right decisions and manage the executions of the shutdown better. These reports are available in Safran Project and is part of the core application and are easy to create. I would like to show you some of these astonishing reports that Safran can create. I predefined some reports and created a report package to run these reports. The report package system is a fully user-defined system that enables you to run a series of reports in one operation. Any report can be included in a report package, and a report can be included in any number of packages. This facility is extremely time-saving. So now let's run the report package and take a look at the reports after. So here you see the reports that I just ran. This is a basic bar chart editor print with the projects that we have been planning now in this demonstration. The next report is a progress summary report where you can compare periodic numbers and cumulative numbers. Here you have earned man hours, expended man hours, and planned man hours. This report is grouped into projects. Here you have the same report. It's paged on project and grouped on discipline. The next report is a manning histogram that has been stacked by project. And here you have a progress trend report that compares planned against earned and expended man hours. And the last report is a pie chart that is grouped into projects. So thank you very much. Back to you, Richard.
So I'd just like to summarize where we've got to in our conversation about shutdown turnaround and SP7. SP7 brings power and performance to any shutdown turnaround project or portfolio of projects. And I think you've seen that in some of Jürgen's presentation today. Where does this performance come from? It comes from focusing on one integrated schedule, which includes embedded risk analysis and combining scenario and impact analysis into that schedule. Also, our partnerships with both SAP and Vesta form the basis for best-in-class process standards that supply end-to-end consistency and quality across the entire organization, supported by an ability to consolidate and build master STO operational plans in execution and full status reporting every day for all stakeholders. Before we take any questions, though, I'd like to leave you with an offer. Anyone who has joined our webinar today and would like to try Safran Project is welcome to both a free trial license and a web-based training session at the start of the trial. We'd love to help you import a schedule in another format and then leave you to try the great reports and other great things about Safran Project that we've talked about today. To organize this, simply email me at richard.wood@safran.com or sales@safran.com, and we'll let you know the dates of the training session and send a link to download a trial. So I believe we do have some questions. Michael, do you have a question you'd like to pick up for us?
The question is, what technology platform does the integration run on, and are there any prerequisites? So the Safran integration is written in ABAP and runs inside of SAP ECC. It will connect to at least one, but possible multiple Safran project systems. Each writes its own Safran Project Web Services client, and all actions are performed from a user interface in the SAP GUI, as Jürgen showed. And all requests then are sent from SAP ECC to Safran Project Web Services client. The interface is REST and the data format is JSON and coordinated with the Safran Web Service API development. One of the prerequisites is that the ECC should be an enhanced package 6.
Okay, thanks, Michael. We have a few questions coming in now. There's one question from Charlie. What software do you use to write reports? Well, the report generator within Safran Project is an in-house developer. It's part of the product, which is part of the reason it gives you all those S-curves and histograms so quickly. Jürgen, I don't know if you want to add anything to that answer?
No, it's just that it's part of the core software, so it's part of it. So.
Yeah, so it's not a separate report generator that you come out of Safran Project and into in order to generate your reports. It's just built in and really easy to use. Okay. Can you explain how the solution works with the Hana solution, the SAP Hana platform? Michael, is that something you know something about?
No, sorry, Richard, I can't elaborate on this question.
Okay, so let me then. So I wasn't sure if this was aimed at the integrator or Safran Project, but certainly Safran Project is available on HANA. It was ported to HANA, I suppose, about a year ago now, maybe 9 months ago, by Rolter. And it was done with the encouragement, with the sponsorship of SAP, who were very keen to be able to offer Safran alongside other SAP modules like SAP PS, PM, MM to their user base on HANA. And we're seeing a great deal of interest from SAP customers worldwide who are busy moving to HANA and want to make sure that they take all of that ability to manage shutdown turnarounds and other complex projects with them in that direction onto that platform. And it and so yes, we're certified by SAP to run on HANA. That was a question from Hadas Kami, I think. Okay, we've got an interesting question here. I keep talking about how performant Safran Project is, but how would I corroborate that? How would I substantiate that? Because of course I'd say that, wouldn't I? And I suppose that's a fair question. The performance comes from the fact that we do have one schedule. We don't take data away from that one schedule, but also the way the product is written allows it to operate very, very quickly. And I mean, I can't prove that to you right now, but what I would say is take our offer. That question's come in from a couple of different directions. So take up our offer to try Safran Project. You can have a 30-day trial. We'll give you some training, and you can bring as complex a project or portfolio of projects with interdependencies and all the other stuff to us, as complex as you like, and we'll help you import it to Safran, and then we'll show you how quickly Safran can turn around a complex resource optimization, a complex set of reports, including a risk analysis, a Monte Carlo analysis. It really is very fast, but I can't substantiate that without proving it to you, so do take my offer up and give us a try. Another question from Mustafa. Are the dates scheduled in Safran transferred back to work orders? And what about start-finish relationships? Okay, Michael, I'll start with you. I'm not sure if that's a Michael or a Jorgen question.
Yeah, I can start off. I can start it off firstly. Yeah, so within the flexible setup, the start and end dates are being transferred back to SAP, and it's by means of DSACs. It's a data set by external systems. So the Safran project will use this soft constraint and will be then the target start date.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Another question here. Is the SAP integrator certified? So yes, it is certified, fully certified by SAP. It was developed by Vesta partners, as you've heard. But again, SAP were very keen to be a part of that process. They were involved in the design, and they have since given us a tough certification process, but we passed it, and we're now fully certified in terms of SAP integration standards. A question on optimization of resources. So, Richard, you mentioned a couple of times that you optimize resources, and that's very important in a shutdown turnaround. Again, what do you mean? What does that look like? Well, okay, so a shutdown turnaround is a very complex project, as you all know, delivered to some very tight timescales. And it's very important that all resources, and I don't just mean people, I mean beds on board, I mean equipment, I mean supply vessels, that all of those moving parts move in perfect harmony so that the schedule costs as little as possible and can be completed as fast as possible. And Safran Project has some built-in algorithms which I think are pretty unique, which actually come from nearly 20 years ago when Artemis was an engine that was used within the original version of Safran Project. Things have moved on enormously since then, but some of that logic's been maintained, and that ability to optimize resources against a complex algorithm, including what we would say juggling various scenarios. So as we optimize those resources, we are able to level those resources and so come up with a number of scenarios to assist decision making. And Statoil, in fact, particularly good at that. they juggled a number of scenarios in Safran to look at whether a flotel would be a good option for a shutdown turnaround when they were clearly going to be under capacity in terms of beds on board halfway through a very major shutdown in the North Sea. So they used our software to optimize, level those resources very quickly, and so using the performance of Safran, developed some scenarios, juggled with them, played games with them, and then selected one and put it back into the production schedule. So I hope that's rather a lengthy answer, but I hope that explains the answer to that question. What else have we got here? Oh, yes, we mentioned weather modeling, time series and weather modeling data. Is that part of Safran Project? Well, actually, we have, I think I mentioned at the beginning, another risk tool called Safran Risk. And that tool is for risk professionals. It's for picking up a risk-ready schedule that would come out of Safran Project that's already been risk analyzed to some degree. And then the risk professional would use our separate Safran Risk tool to analyze some of the risks involved, including weather modeling and including an ability to bring in time series data, which you can find on the market, to look historically at the way weather has behaved at certain times during that shutdown turnaround. And then once that weather modeling has been done, that schedule can be passed back into P6 or into Safran. Okay, does this product handle different project sizes and layouts? The integrator, sorry, does it handle different project sizes and layouts? And will it import multiple projects from SAP? Michael, I think you've touched on some of that, but do you want to just pick that up?
Yeah, so yeah, as I said, the integrator has a flexible configurator that supports different project types. And even when you looked at the demo that Jürgen gave, you saw the selection of multiple links and types which you can set up. So yes, it does support different layouts and project activities. Okay,
the question also says, does it import multiple projects from SAP?
At the current moment, it's a one-on-one relationship. So but based on business going forward and looking at the multiple requirements that's coming out of the market, we are doing further development to support that. So currently it's a one-on-one. So one SAP project versus multiple Safran projects, but not multiple SAP projects versus one Safran.
Okay, thank you. But I think on our roadmap within Safran is an ability to exactly do that. And in fact, at the moment, we've got one customer taking multiple projects out of SAP and then putting them together as a single project in Safran to optimize anyway. So there are ways around that until we develop that within our roadmap. Okay.
That's the way around, as you said.
Another question for you. Does the solution integrate SAP, PM, PP, and PS? Or does it only work with PS? Michael, do you want to take that?
No, it shows with PM and PS.
Okay, but I believe we certainly have one customer at the moment that wants to pass data from SAP CO and CPM into Safran, and we're busy looking at configuring that. So I think it's fair to say that the integrator is a product capable of great configuration. That's the way it's been written, and we expect it to be used to suck data out of various places in SAP and back into Safran. Are there any existing customer references for shutdown turnaround? Well, that's a very good question. So Safran has a lot of oil and gas customers using Safran Project for complex shutdown turnarounds. That's really our core market strength. It's where we come from as a company. Companies like Able, Aker, Kverna, Statoil, KCO, Deutag, a lot of companies would favor Safran Project and its ability to manage the shutdown turnarounds. And as we described earlier, that's partly because we can take in data from many contractors, including P6 and MSP, and consolidate them into one master plan and then push optimized results back out into those other formats. And that's something that a number of those companies do on a daily basis as they're measuring the progress of the shutdown turnaround. Another question, do we have many SAP references, integration references? Okay, that's an interesting question. So yes, we do. We have a lot of such references, but the integrator itself is a new product for us. It's been around, finished for 4 or 5 months now, I think. But our history of integrating with SAP from Safran goes back a lot further than that. And we have many SAP customers taking data to and from Safran Project. The difference is we've learned from those experiences, and we've now produced a consistent, consolidated tool to do that job. Michael, do you have any comments about Vesta references in the world of SAP integration?
Yeah, yes, we do. But currently what we always use was the EPC connector to MS Project and other planning and scheduling tools. So that's what we utilized previously, and then we saw the gap market together with you on baseline in this one.
Okay, lovely, thank you. Perfect. I think that's just about the end of our questions, actually. We had a lot, but I think we're nearly there. Doug, do you want to summarize for us?
Well, you know, we're very glad everybody joined us. We are getting near the top of the hour, so we're going to sign off here in a moment. I definitely would encourage everyone to, if you're interested in more information, please go to safran.com and learn all about Safran Project 7 and Safran Integrator for SAP. Really appreciate Michael and Jorgen and Richard for their presentation today and for answering all the questions we had come in. We've had a great deal of interest already in people looking at the free trial license of Safran Project 7. So if you are interested in doing that, please reach out to us and we will get you scheduled for the training session to get you going. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Jorgen. And we will see you next time. Thank you for joining the webinar today.
Thank you.
Thank you.